Hi.
Hi. It's very awkward for us.
It is, especially for me because again, I'm not used to being in
This
front
is
of a
another
camera.
episode of Securish. You have to introduce.
Episode 3 of Securish. Today we're going to be talking
Ugh.
about
We're not
just
going straight into it like that.
no.
No, it's obviously we did a part one in the last video, and I want to let you know about the fact that part two is not going to happen because we were going to show you some of our interactions,
Mhm.
being anxious and avoidant previously, and how we triggered each other. But Sophie's phone has updated and decided that
To get rid of over 10 years worth of WhatsApp backup.
yeah,
Furious.
because
I don't delete anything
yeah,
ever, but WhatsApp decided to delete it.
today
So
of all days, the day we
literally,
actually wanted to. But you know what? I'm going to take that as a sign that we didn't need to go back over those messages. So we'll take it as that. So it's going to introduce to you what we're talking
however,
about.
today
Okay. Wow. let me finish. Cool now. Let me land.
Today we are gonna ask each other questions.
She's
So
looking to the
what
side because
I need to
can't remember.
read. No. Um, what anxious and avoidant people really want to say. So we what we wish we could say to each other.
Okay, so today we are going to be. I didn't want to introduce it, but I'm here again because I yap a lot. We're going to be talking about what anxious and avoidant people, not speaking for everyone, wish they could say to each other in a friendship dynamic, and why that's not always possible. Yeah, we're going to start there.
Because of the attachments.
See, the word attachment in itself, when you attach to something outside of your own, outside of yourself, that word in itself, do you know what I mean? Attachment styles. How do we learn to attach?
It's like a leech.
Yeah, you just never
Like a
really.
tick.
Now I'm gonna. Do you know what? Fuck it. We're new to this. We're gonna stay true to this. So I'm gonna look
We're
because
new to this. We're gonna stay true to this.
period.
Love that.
So we're gonna have our laptop here. We're gonna be. This is real because I have ADHD and I really struggle to sometimes retain information.
Mm-hmm.
So I need to reread things over and over again to store it in my mind. So I'm just gonna we're gonna wing it. Okay, we're gonna wing it.
And I struggle to remember anything.
Yeah, it's always been that way. Okay, so anxious. I'm gonna ask
The
Sophie.
avoidant.
She's not avoidant anymore though. You're not avoidant anymore. So let's cut that
But
out.
from the avoidant
Avoidant perspective. Oh,
perspective.
so we're gonna be a lot of looking down, telling you from the jump. Okay. Why did you always pull away when things were good?
Because it didn't feel safe.
Okay.
Anytime anything felt good or felt safe, even like if we went out, we had a good time, or I'd come over to yours, or you come over here, and we'd hang out, and we'd genuinely have a good time. Like we were laughing or we were enjoying ourselves, it didn't feel safe. So it's almost like I would let my guard down a little bit and it would be okay. And then you become aware of the fact that you're letting your guard down and you're like, oh, no, no, something terrible is about to happen. Get those walls back up.
Okay.
So the action of getting those walls back up would be to pull away. So not responding to messages, not reaching out, not like following up, which looks like ghosting essentially.
It doesn't look like it is ghosting. If we're gonna call a spade, let's be so real. That's
No.
exactly what it
You're
is.
you're absolutely right. But
Yeah.
the intention wasn't ghosting. The intention was I need to get the walls back up so I feel safe again.
Okay. Understood. I mean, I don't understand it, but I don't forget everyone. That's okay. It's
Mm.
just nice to kind of know. Um. Okay. So, do you actually care, or are you just distant? As in, I say, do you or did you? I know you care now,
Mm.
but back then, it's like, did you care, or were you just distant?
It's just distance.
So then, what's the difference between distance and care if everything is all the same to you? How can you
Because
how can you say you care? Like, hold on, this I'm just winging it now. How can you say you care about someone
mm,
but be distant, but care but don't show it?
it's a good question.
Isn't it?
It's a difficult one to answer. I knew I cared.
But what about the other person?
You're not gonna know that I care.
Okay, so this you see, herein lies the issue. You see why we're doing these videos.
I knew how I felt. Otherwise, I wouldn't have spent any time with you. If I didn't care, I wouldn't have made the effort.
Okay.
In the avoidant processing, I don't think that way now. But in the avoidant processing, the fact that I've showed up, the fact that I'm doing whatever it is that we're doing, I wouldn't, if I didn't care, I wouldn't be doing it.
Right.
So that was how care appeared. So if I was doing things I didn't want to do,
but how do you know the difference about doing things you wanted to do and doing things you didn't want to do when you did it anyway? That's something to me that I would never understand. It's like if you're doing something you wanted to do and doing something you didn't want to do, if you're turning up constantly to something you don't want to do,
yeah,
how can you know what you want to do if you're turning up to things you don't want to do?
I knew what I didn't want to do when I didn't want to do it.
Okay.
There's like it's difficult to explain. Like, for instance, if you were like, oh, Soph, do you want to do this? The 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 answer would be yes, whether I wanted to or not. But the reason why it was yes was because, number one, I wanted to spend time with you. Those were genuine feelings. It was like I want to be around you. I want to spend time with you.
Right.
But it might not have been that day. It might not have been. I might not have been in the right like headspace. I might have had so many other things to do, or I've just finished work and I'm tired. But those weren't feasible reasons to say no. Well, saying no wasn't even an option.
Okay.
Because again, saying no also didn't feel safe.
Okay.
So by me doing the things that I didn't want to do, again, in the avoidant processing, that's how I show I care.
Right.
I'm
Okay.
here. I've turned up.
I appreciate you kind of diving into it more. I still don't get it, but that's a process of protection, I guess. Okay, I think you've touched on this, but why don't you or didn't you communicate?
Didn't know how.
Okay,
Didn't know how.
you know,
Like,
sorry, you said
yeah.
you didn't know how, but you communicate every day. So is it communicating with someone that you feel more for, like as a friend, or not? Do you know what I mean? This is the thing we've had conversations time and again over like when you're anxious, when you're avoidant, it's like you don't communicate because you care more for the person. It's like the opposite thing. I think that's how Soph's tried to explain it to me. So if you care more, you communicate less. It makes that. Am I right?
Yeah,
that's how you've explained it, right?
Because when you care about someone, there's obviously emotions attached, deep emotions attached to that person. So any conversation that is going to go through that way, so through an emotion, that makes it even more difficult because what you're trying to do is suppress that. So if you have to go into a conversation where you have to access that, it's going to be difficult. So you choose not to do it. But the less you care about someone, so the less emotional investment you have in someone, the easier it is because it's surface. If I don't care about you, I could talk to you all day because that emotional investment isn't there.
That's crazy.
But if I am like with us, if you ask me, Sophie, again, calling back to a previous episode, oh, how are you? Because I have an emotional connection to you, I care about you, and I deep down, I know you care about me. I can't answer that honestly because that takes vulnerability, that takes accessing emotions that I am trying to suppress and run away from. So it's even harder to do that.
Okay. Wild.
It doesn't make sense.
Absolutely wild.
But
I think I'm learning more from you as you explain it to me as we've moved out of these attachment styles. Me being anxious, or previously I've always attracted avoidant people, and having a friend who was avoidant, it's kind of helped me to not navigate, kind of navigate. I still don't understand, but it's helped me to be more empathetic. I'm an empathetic person anyway, but it's kind of helped me to see that if I've got an insecure attachment, then why can't someone else? Again, it's not excusing it, but it's understanding why,
where the thread comes from.
Yeah, I don't understand why you do it, but I can understand why, or whether like you said, the thread of how it started or why it started. Okay, ask me mine now.
Why does everything feel urgent?
Oh my gosh!
Like
right now.
Right now.
Being in fight or flight mode, it's like when you're constantly like in survival mode, all you know to do is just, okay, someone's responded, I need to respond back to them again, because you're not looking at what it is that you need for yourself. If someone's messaged me back, that means that their need surpasses my own, means that I need to respond to them right now. No, I don't. No, and also, it's like intentionally moving slower. Like I have to intentionally move slower now. See, I can only speak from where I am now because I can't speak from how I was before. I have to literally go back because it felt like, again, I need if I respond back now, then this person's going to be like, okay, cool, they will confirm that I'm fine, that I've not done anything wrong, that we're good, that they're not going to leave me in my mind, which makes no sense. And you can't think all of that with a message. Do you know what I mean? Even if the message had nothing to do with it, even if the message was just like, hello, you're right. Do you know what I mean? It's like, I need to respond now. It's that fight or flight. I'm being attacked by words. I'm not, you know. Like, we're not being hunted by saber-tooth anymore. But that's how avoidant, I keep saying avoidant, that's how anxiety would feel. Like, it's so rushed because you don't give yourself a second to be like, do I want to answer this message? Do I want to do this thing? How does it make me feel? How does it make me feel in my body? And that's something that was so, babe, me thinking about slowing down. How things feel in my body.
We have had so many conversations about me saying, Nye, do you need to respond right now? Do you want to respond right now?
And the answer is usually no. Because when I give myself a second, I'm like, I can see things properly. Because you cannot see. It's like having wool in your eyes. That's how I would liken it to. When I was anxious, I've got a message, I need to respond back. I have ADHD, so I move quickly anyway. So now I'm having to slow down to regulate my nervous system with a brain that moves quite quickly. So that's quite difficult, but it's not impossible, and I'm doing it. Yeah. Do you know what I mean?
Yes, you are.
So it's like, I have to constantly say, okay, now you can slow down. Do you want to? And it's also, again, trusting myself to make decisions for myself. And be like, this is what's best for me. And it doesn't matter if it doesn't suit anybody else.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, there's one more. Why, again, I'm going to change the question slightly.
Okay.
Why couldn't you give space? Because you give space now.
Thank you.
You do.
Space feels like rejection and abandonment. Any form of space feels like I was being rejected. That you didn't care about me, that you were directly out to get me, that everyone else that's
like I was a weapon for the against you.
That all the people external of me were better than me, because they would be like it's like I had this fear that someone else would swoop in and take Sophie from me, and like it's like my best friend like title would be gone. That's how it felt.
Not possible.
So
it was never possible, even in the most avoidant time of my life, that was never possible.
And see
and that's where my understanding departed. I was like, how could that happen?
Yeah, in your mind. But again, when someone's not giving anything, as it would feel. I mean, when you're I went from an anxious standpoint, I'm also giving too much, so it would feel like I'm giving and I'm not getting anything, so it doesn't even care. That's how it would feel. So I couldn't give that space, because if I give that space, someone else is going to come in and like, because they're better than me. Again, it all comes to like that sense of self and what I felt like I didn't bring, because I didn't feel like I brought anything to any form of relationship, friendship. And we've had conversations about this. So I was like, why are you friends with me? And that would be my constant thing. It would be a constant thread. So I'd be like, why are you friends with me? And then she'd be like, oh, for fuck's sake, bro, I'm with you. But I was like, but you're not giving anything. You're just like not speaking, and we don't speak, and you give nothing. But I'm like, do you want to? And you're like, yeah, sure. I was just like,
but you see, I couldn't understand that, because I was like, but I'm here, and that is everything.
That was nothing.
In my head, me physically being in your space, that's how so conceited. Me physically being in your space, was me giving everything, because that's everything I had to give. So in my mind, in an avoidant mind, me physically being around you is the everything that I can give. I have nothing else.
Us like drinking and not talking.
Yeah.
And you like doing things for me.
Yes.
Okay.
That's how I care.
Okay.
If I take over this situation, so you don't have to deal with it, because it's causing you stress, I can shut my brain down so I don't feel stress. So let me do that. Which is not healthy, but in my mind, that I can take this thing away from you because I can deal with it.
So you think that I could deal with it? Or did you not think that way? Did you not think that way?
I didn't even think that far.
Wow.
Let me just do it.
That's crazy. That's crazy work.
Yeah. Let me just do it.
The last question?
That's the last question on that list.
So, we got a question last week, so can you get it up, please?
Yes, I can.
From one of our lovely followers or subscribers, whatever you call it.
Thank you, by the way.
It's a very good question.
The responses that we've gotten from these 2 videos that we've done has actually been
heartwarming.
Really, really heartwarming.
Very, very, very lovely. You're all lovely. Because it's not easy to...
No, it's not. And we've been talking about doing a version of something like this for years.
For a while.
Probably even when we weren't ready to do it. Yeah, so actually doing it.
Divine timing. Like, I feel like the 100%. universe was like, yeah, sure, it's time for you to do it now. Do you want me to read it?
Do you want to read it or do you want me to read it?
No, you can. I don't
Okay. Thank you for the question. I was wondering if you're both finding this confronting in any way, as you're talking about yourselves and your feelings, which obviously comes with its own vulnerabilities. But as you speak out loud, has it made you both reflect any more on the way you are and have been?
That's like a 2-parter. Can you read the first part again?
Yes.
Sorry. Let's do that bit first.
I was wondering if you're both finding this confronting in any way, as you're talking about yourselves and your feelings.
I've never struggled to talk about my feelings.
I have.
So it's confronting and is it? No, it's not confronting. As in me sitting in front of a camera talking to you, not at all. This is what I do, baby. But if we're talking about like the emotions and me having to like go away and think about it, I don't find it confronting, but I do find it like cathartic. This is sort of like a therapy for me. That's what I'd say, because it's helping me through. It is cathartic. It's a good way to release all of the cobbies while I'm still working through anxious thoughts that do and inevitably will come up because I'm human, you know?
Yeah. I think if you had asked me 6 months ago, I would say yes, it is confronting, because working through avoidancy, I've had to start at ground zero of just allowing myself to feel any emotions that come up. So talking about emotions for me was like level 2 of that. And that was confronting at first. I'm going to also say, I think now it's cathartic, because I'm not used to being in front of the camera. I'm not the type of person who would usually do this, but because I have my best friend with me, I feel safe to do that. And for me, feeling safe, having safety was always my number one fear, not feeling safe. So anything that didn't feel safe, I wasn't going to do. So doing this and actually sitting down
for 3 weeks in a row.
For 3 weeks in a row, talking about feelings and emotions, and even acknowledging that I did suppress and I did push them down, and the knock-on effect that has had on specifically our friendship and how we've come here. It is vulnerable. And again, vulnerability is a massive fear for avoidance, but I don't fear being vulnerable now. It still feels a little uncomfortable. So, yeah, I'm doing my best. And I think, again, having someone who is so emotionally tapped in.
Oh, say more things like that.
I always say, like, Nye has allowed me to feel safe in crying, which was, my gosh, I'm going to just say it. I almost had a panic attack the first time I cried in front of Nye, like face to face. I've cried on the phone to Nye before, but there's a safety and a distance being on the phone versus being in person. I had a full-on panic attack when I started feeling tears come up to my eyes. And I literally sat there with me and said, "It's okay, Sophie, just cry." And I was like, "What do you mean? What are you talking about? What if I never stop? What do you do when tears come up?
When you go, do I sit?
Do I sit? Do I stand? Do I lay down? Like how?"
I don't know, that always makes me laugh because I don't understand it, because I'm just so in touch. When you say it, it always makes me laugh, but not in like a mean way. It's like because it's foreign, it's new to you. Yeah. So you're welcome. You're welcome. I'll always be an emotional vessel, but I'm never going to pour from an empty cup.
Never.
You get the overflow, my guy.
Correct.
And so does everyone else. So does everybody else.
Absolutely. Your cup is for you. The overflow is for others. The second part of the question is, as you speak out loud, has it made you both reflect any more on the way you are and have been? Yes.
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 The way I am now, I'm really beginning to love this version of myself and to love myself like completely. And I think it's hard for me because I appear confident and I am. I have moments where I'm not, but to be able to do this, it's allowed me to be like, okay, cool. This is you going in and like facing and integrating your shadows and being like, yeah, you're good now. Like regardless, it's made me think about, yes, this is who I am now and who I've been. I wouldn't want to be that person again, just because I was very like unkind to myself and it wasn't the best person to be around, because no one wants to be around someone who's constantly on edge. I didn't want to be around myself, but me trying to escape myself didn't help. So it does make me reflect on who I have been and who I am now and who I want to continue to be. And it's this version of myself, but just like better. As in, not that there's anything wrong with me, but just like a better version of who like little Nye was before the world told me who I was.
Yeah.
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 So that.
I would second that.
Yeah.
Actually. We had a conversation. We have many conversations many times a day. We had a conversation actually after watching the TV show Heated Rivalry. If you haven't seen it,
please watch it. One of the best shows.
And that was another turning point for me because one of the characters is very obviously avoidant. No spoilers. And watching that story play out,
she cried.
I did cry.
I cried
fearlessly, by the way. I cried. We cried
together. I was bawling because obviously the other characters veers more towards anxious, bawling.
And like I had a moment where I was like, oh my gosh, I never want to be like that ever again. I never want to run away from how I feel because I'm too scared to get hurt. I never want that. And since then I have looked back and we've had more conversations and I've been like, nah, was I like that? Did I do that? Yes. Did I say that? Did I behave like that? And I was like, yes.
A lot of the
time. And I'm like, okay, I will never do that again. And I will put measures in place so I don't do that again. I never veer back towards shutting down. You know, I've learned a lot about myself. I'm actually a touchy-feely person. Who would have thought? Anyone who has known me for a while knows that I never used to hug. I never used to, like, me sitting this close to Nye this would never happen. Physical contact would never happen.
I was literally touching her leg just now. Sophie would have just been like, before she would have like moved.
Literally, this. I am a touchy-feely person. You know, I was dating someone last year and learning that I actually like being cuddled.
We're gonna don't go too much.
Oh, sorry.
Talk about don't apologize. We're gonna do.
Sorry. We'll discuss that.
We'll discuss it in
another episode. But
the next episode. Yay! Wait, that sounded terrible.
That was terrible. Smoke weed every day.
Sorry, Nate Dogg. Wow, rest in peace.
That was Anyway. Yes.
Wow.
I reflect all the time and I lean more into my vulnerability now without fear. Because that is the best way to be. Being avoidant ain't it. It's not a badge of honor, it's not strong, it's weak AF. It's gross. And you're actually not a nice person to other people because you appear like you don't care. When you do care. And that is one of the biggest things I've learned.
Yeah.
You have to show people you care.
Yeah.
Because they're not in your head, so how are they going to know?
Yeah, you don't need to pester everyone every second of the day and ask them if they're all right. Like, are we okay? You don't need to do that. No one's going to forget about you. You're unforgettable.
Facts.
Okay, so we're gonna
wrap it here.
Yeah, I think we're gonna.
Well then, bye.
Every time. We'll see you on the next one.
See you next time.
Next week, yeah?
In a bit.
Bye.
Ta-ta.
Oh my gosh, the level of bye, everyone.